Kidada Jones, one would say, has had her connections with many prominent figures in the music industry, from dating rappers like LL Cool J and even Tupac to being the daughter of legendary producer Quincy Jones. Kidada has most likely seen and heard it all. At one point, she was even styling Michael Jackson for a magazine shoot. However, one connection that is well known but not really discussed is her close friendship to superstar Aaliyah. First meeting at a Tommy Hilfiger fashion show Kidada was styling, they immediately hit it off as friends. It's also worth noting that Kidada was the one to introduce Aaliyah to Tommy Hilfiger, who decided to feature her in some of the most iconic ads of the 90s. Through speaking on set, Aaliyah and Kidada realized they shared similar interests and connected instantly. One would consider Kidada a socialite of that time, but if so, she was a socialite with purpose that made herself useful with her keen eye for fashion and trends. She always knew what and who were hot at the time. From then on, Aaliyah and Kidada became attached at the hip, almost going everywhere together. Girl trips to Fiji and other countries, different parties, red carpet events, and movie premieres. Even so much that Aaliyah used to get mistaken for being Kidada's sister and one of Quincy Jones's daughters. Kidada once even told the story of Aaliyah prank calling her father, Quincy Jones, while imitating Christina Aguilera, which he actually believed. Aaliyah really did have a fun sense of humor many didn't even realize. Along with a group of friends, they even used to roleplay as the Spice Girls and made a video of it, which has yet to see the light of day. There was even one instance when they both went to Europe and Aaliyah's mother allowed Kidada to be her guardian. Now, keep in mind, Kidada was only 5 years older than Aaliyah. Aaliyah was a teenager at the time and Kidada was in her early 20s. That's a lot of trust to put in the hands of, let's say, a 21-year-old, right? To be the sole guardian for your famous daughter overseas? One would wonder what made Aaliyah's mother trust Kidada so much. How much power did Kidada really hold in their friendship? Regardless, Kidada spoke to the Fader about all the wild fun they had in Europe and described the experience of chaperoning Aaliyah as a nightmare. Interesting.
You think you know? You have no idea.
Apparently, they got into trouble many times and were just two best friends having the time of their lives. Kidada also mentioned that while she and Aaliyah did have their disagreements, it was never anything too serious. Aaliyah was essentially a homebody who had no problem spending time alone. Besides, whenever they did go out, they were the life of the party, always doing the house party dance in the middle of the club. This goes into a common theme often brought up with Aaliyah on how she was always hanging around people much older than her. In a way, she was forced to grow up fast, as some may say, especially being in the music industry. What kind of influence did having older friends like Kidada really have on Aaliyah? Transitioning into the 2000s, Aaliyah's star power grew stronger and stronger. She was leveling up and really on the brink of phenomenal success. Another thing that's interesting is how around this time of her self-titled album promo, you barely saw Aaliyah hang around Missy, Timbaland, Genuine, or any of the Super Friends crew. Genuine even revealed in an interview how him and Aaliyah were not on speaking terms. Years ago, Timbaland also spoke about his regrets of not really speaking to Aaliyah before her untimely passing.
I tell you like this, the thing that really bothers me the most about the live with the death, we just got in an argument. And I never really got to say I'm sorry. But when I was about to say, why are we even tripping? That's when we got the news.
What were the causes to these rifts, and was Kidada another friend she possibly could have lost touch with? Or was it all industry-related issues? For most of her 2000s footage, it seemed like Aaliyah's best friends were her brother, Rashad, and her glam squad. They were more in tune with her lifestyle, being that they literally glammed her up and were around her all the time with her grueling schedule. Did Kidada ever fall to the back burner at this point too? Something else noticeable is how Kidada was never featured in any of Aaliyah's music videos. Being best friends since her 1 in a Million era, there was much opportunity for this to happen as Kidada herself was always on the set. Was it scheduling conflicts or something else? Contrary to speculation, even in 2001, Aaliyah spoke highly of Kidada, even showing off her charm bracelet dedicated to her.
And other than that, I like fun jewelry like this. This is one of my favorites, charm bracelet. That can change the charms, and I wear my best friend's. Her name is Kidada. It says Dada, and she wears mine. It says Lee. It's another name.
This magazine shoe always stuck out to me as well. Even with everyone else wearing more risque bottom pieces, including Kidada, Aaliyah was the only one to wear pants. Not shaming others in any way, but this always confirmed to me that Aaliyah was not a follower and stuck to her guns in an industry full of so many sheep. What do y'all take from this? Kidada also revealed that right before Aaliyah's passing, they were to go into business together. They hoped to create a clothing line called Dolly Pop, featuring girly and Japanese-inspired fashion pieces, which would have been ahead of the times. In that aspect, it could be assumed that Aaliyah and Kidada were still very close around the time of her passing. We all know that throughout life, but it really seems like they had an unbreakable bond. One thing I did always find odd though is that when you look up pics from Aaliyah's funeral, none with Kidada in it ever show up. People grieve in different ways, but shouldn't her best friend have been at least visible there? Referring back to Kidada's relationship with LL Cool J, he was noted in saying he broke it off with Kidada because of her heavy spiritual beliefs. She would go to the ashram, consult a guru, and pray to statues, even throwing a stick into a fire before his album release. He blamed that ritual on why his album performed so poorly and just couldn't take her anymore. With this, I often wonder, did Kidada ever pass on these beliefs to Aaliyah, being her best friend? What exact influence did Kidada really have over Aaliyah in her decisions during their friendship? And the big one, would Aaliyah and Kidada still be best friends even now, over 20 years later? Let me know your thoughts down below. And please, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It would be refreshing to hear all of the adventures Aaliyah and Kidada had together. But then again, maybe some secrets between best friends are better left untold. Or are they?
My best friend said